The stars burned in distant silence as Ambassador Veltar stood before the massive screens in the Federation Command Center. Behind him, representatives from 100 alien species watched the replay of their latest defeat. Another fleet. Another star system. Another billion lives consumed by the creatures they called the Veil Devourers. "Show them the Kalara sector footage," Veltar commanded, his 6 arms trembling. The screen flickered to life, displaying what had once been a thriving star system. Now only empty void remained, as if reality itself had been eaten away. Admiral Krotek of the warrior Vakari spoke first. "Our plasma cannons pass through them like water. Their shields adapt to every frequency we try." Other voices joined in, each species reporting the same horror. Nothing worked against the Devourers. "They don't just destroy matter, scientist," Dr. Nexara explained, her mandibles clicking nervously. "They consume space-time itself. Our physics cannot touch what exists between dimensions." The room fell silent as everyone processed this truth. The Devourers were not just unstoppable, they were incomprehensible. Veltar straightened his spinal ridges. "There remains one option. One species we have not contacted." Murmurs of confusion rippled through the assembly. "The humans." "The primitives?" Admiral Krotek scoffed. "They barely achieved faster-than-light travel 50 cycles ago. Their technology is inferior to species we conquered millennia ago." "Yes," Veltar agreed. "But they are different. Our anthropologists studied them during their application for Federation membership. Do you know what we found? A species that spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing their own kind." Dr. Nexara pulled up a holographic display. "Earth's history shows constant warfare. While we developed philosophy and art, they developed weapons. Every generation created more efficient ways to destroy. They even built weapons capable of ending all life on their planet, and kept building more. They created something called nuclear winter scenarios," Veltar continued. "Theoretical calculations on how to make their own world uninhabitable. They study destruction like we study poetry." A younger diplomat, Zenko, raised his crystalline hand. "But surely their primitive weapons cannot harm the Devourers when our advanced technology fails." Veltar's eyes darkened. "Perhaps. But humans think differently than us. While we seek elegant solutions, they embrace chaos. Their military doctrine includes something called scorched earth, destroying everything to deny it to enemies, even if it means destroying themselves." The ambassador activated another display showing Earth's military history. During their Second World War, they developed a weapon in secret that could split atoms. Instead of using one, they built 2, and used both. When challenged by another nuclear power, they built thousands more. They think like the Devourers think. That's why we need them, concluded Dr. Nexara. Every peaceful species approaches problems with the assumption that solutions exist. Humans assume that if something exists, it can be destroyed. They weaponize their own fear. Admiral Krotek remained skeptical. Even if human psychology helps, their technology is still primitive. What can kinetic weapons and chemical explosives do against beings that devour reality? "I don't know," Veltar admitted. "But I know humans invented something called mutually assured destruction, the willingness to end everything rather than lose. When the Devourers reach Earth, humans will face the same choice we all do: submit or die. But humans might choose a third option: take everyone down with them." The chamber buzzed with nervous conversation. The idea of allying with such a violent species disturbed many representatives. But as the latest casualty reports came in, 3 more systems gone in the past solar day. Desperation silenced their objections. Veltar gathered his courage. "I will personally lead a delegation to Earth. We will offer them full Federation membership, access to all our technology, and membership in the High Council. In exchange, we ask for one thing: everything they have. Every weapon, every strategy, every mad idea their species has conceived for war. And if they refuse?" asked Zenko. Veltar looked at the empty void where star systems once flourished. "Then we die with dignity, knowing we tried everything." But if the humans agree... He paused, considering the implications. Then the Devourers will face something they've never encountered, a species that views mutual destruction as an acceptable outcome. The Chamber voted unanimously to send the delegation to Earth. As the meeting disbanded, Dr. Nexara approached Veltar privately. "Are you certain about this path? Humans are dangerous not just to their enemies." Veltar nodded grimly. "Yes, but when facing cosmic horror, perhaps we need a little human horror of our own." The next day, Veltar's ship departed for Earth, carrying, with it, the desperate hope that humanity's talent for destruction might save them all. The briefing room at United Nations headquarters had been hastily modified to accommodate the alien delegation. President Kim Min-ho sat across from Ambassador Veltar, while General Lee Tae-min prepared to reveal humanity's military capabilities. The atmosphere was tense as both species sized each other up. "You asked for our weapons," General Lee began, his voice steady. "Before we show you what we have, you need to understand something. Every major nation on Earth has enough firepower to destroy our entire planet several times over. We've lived with that reality for decades." Ambassador Veltar's translation device hummed. "This seems excessive." Colonel Choi Ye-jin stepped forward, activating a holographic display. "Nuclear weapons are our oldest mass destruction technology. We currently maintain over 10,000 active warheads. Each one can level a city." She paused. "That's the small stuff." The display showed missiles, submarines, and aircraft. "We also developed thermonuclear bombs, hydrogen bombs that make nuclear weapons look weak. The largest one we tested was over 3,000 times more powerful than the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima." Dr. Nam Ki-jun, the military physicist, joined the presentation. "But we didn't stop there. We created neutron bombs, designed to kill all life while leaving buildings intact. We built dirty bombs that spread radioactive contamination. We even designed salted bombs that could make entire continents uninhabitable for centuries." The alien delegation grew visibly uncomfortable. Admiral Krotek clicked his mandibles nervously. "Why would you build such things?" "Because we could," President Kim answered simply, "and because we were afraid others would build them first." Colonel Choi continued the demonstration. "We developed biological weapons, engineered plagues, toxic gases, chemical agents that attack the nervous system. During one war, we used napalm, burning gel that sticks to everything and can't be extinguished with water. We created something called Agent Orange," Dr. Nam added, "a chemical that destroyed forests and poisoned the land for generations. We dropped it from aircraft to deny enemies hiding places." The hologram shifted to show advanced weapon systems. General Lee's expression grew darker. "These are our modern developments. Railguns that fire projectiles at hypersonic speeds. Directed energy weapons. Lasers that can cut through tank armor. Electromagnetic pulse bombs that destroy all electronics in a wide area." Captain Yoon Hae-jin stepped into the briefing. "We've also perfected autonomous weapons, drones that select and engage targets without human control. Swarm robotics that can overwhelm any defense through sheer numbers. But our real innovation," General Lee continued, "is in doctrine. While you developed honorable combat, we perfected total war. We target civilian infrastructure, communications, food supplies. We use psychological warfare to break enemy morale before fighting begins." Ambassador Veltar looked disturbed. This violates every principle of civilized warfare." "We're not civilized," President Kim replied bluntly. "We're survivors. Every major power maintains detailed plans for nuclear first strikes. Our submarines patrol constantly, carrying enough firepower to end civilizations. We call it mutually assured destruction. If anyone attacks us with nuclear weapons, everyone." "Dies." Dr. Nam pulled up new displays. "We've also developed theoretical weapons we considered too dangerous to build. Antimatter bombs that release pure energy. Quantum cascade weapons that could destabilize matter itself. Artificial black hole generators. Stellar destabilizers designed to make stars go supernova. Why didn't you build these? Data asked Dr. Nexara. Because we recognized they might destroy everything, including ourselves, Colonel Choi explained. But if we face extinction anyway, General Lee gestured to a secured section. We've spent decades wargaming impossible scenarios. Our strategists have plans for fighting underground, underwater, in space, even in alternate realities. We've developed contingencies for literally every possible threat we could imagine. Our computers continuously run simulations, Captain Yoon added. They've wargamed conflicts with aliens, time travelers, interdimensional invaders, and cosmic horrors. Every scenario ends with either our victory or everyone's destruction. Ambassador, Veltar was silent for a long moment. Your species terrifies me. Good, President Kim said quietly. Now you understand what the Devourers will face. We don't fight to win. We fight to ensure our enemies lose everything. If dying means taking our enemies with us, we consider that acceptable. The alien delegation exchanged glances. Finally, Admiral Krotek spoke. Show us everything. If these Devourers want to consume our reality, let them face a species insane enough to break reality itself, rather than surrender. General Lee smiled grimly. Now you're beginning to understand. When humans are pushed to the edge, we don't just fight back. We drag everything into the abyss with us. The combined fleet stretched across space like a metallic storm cloud. Human warships sat alongside alien vessels at the edge of the Nexus sector, where the veiled Devourers would emerge from their dimensional tiers. Admiral Han Wubin studied the tactical displays from his command ship, watching as final preparations were made. Enemy contact in 30 minutes, reported Lieutenant Jong Sumin. On the screens, space itself began to ripple and twist. The Devourers weren't just approaching, they were tearing holes in reality to get there. Captain Jung So-young piloted her fighter squadron alongside alien pilots who had never seen combat like this. Remember the plan, she broadcasted. Hit them with conventional weapons first. We need to see how they react. The first Devourer emerged from the dimensional rift. It was massive, its form constantly shifting between states of matter. Where it passed, stars flickered and died. The creature didn't have solid edges. It existed in multiple dimensions at once, making it impossible to target properly. All ships open fire, Admiral Han commanded. The fleet unleashed everything. Plasma beams, missile swarms, railgun slugs, and energy weapons converged on the Devourer. The attacks passed harmlessly, through its form as if shooting at empty space. The creature continued forward unaffected. Switching to quantum phase weapons, announced Colonel Park Tae-hyun from the weapons ship. Humanity's newest technology engaged, weapons designed to hit targets regardless of dimensional phase. The beams struck the Devourer, causing it to flicker slightly, but it quickly adapted. More Devourers emerged from the rifts. They moved with purpose, ignoring individual ships and heading straight for populated star systems. One touched a Federation frigate and the entire vessel simply vanished, not destroyed, but erased from existence. They're learning from our attacks, observed Dr. Kim Seri from the science vessel. Whatever we hit them with, they become immune. To within minutes, Admiral Han felt the weight of command. Nothing they tried worked. The Devourers consumed matter and energy equally, growing stronger with each absorption. Space itself bent around them, making accurate targeting impossible. Deploy the reality anchors, Han ordered grimly. Engineer Park Min-ho hesitated. Sir, those weapons haven't been fully tested. They could affect our own ships. Do it, we're out of options. The reality anchor bombs launched toward the largest concentration of Devourers. These weapons worked differently. Instead of trying to destroy the creatures, they would lock space-time into rigid patterns, preventing dimensional movement. The bombs detonated in brilliant flashes. Space around the explosions hardened, becoming dense and fixed. The Devourers caught in the effect zones suddenly became solid, trapped in normal reality. But the anchors created dead zones where faster-than-light travel became impossible. It's working, shouted Lieutenant Jong. They're vulnerable now. The fleet pressed the attack. Conventional weapons that had passed through the creatures now tore into their newly solid forms. Black ichor sprayed across space as the Devourers screamed in frequencies that broke communication equipment, but victory came at a price. The reality, anchors had created expanding zones of twisted physics. Some human ships were caught in the effects, their crews aging rapidly or frozen in time. Others simply ceased to exist as local laws of physics changed. Captain Young led a desperate attack on the primary Devourer. Her squadron had been equipped with prototype AI viruses, malicious code designed to infiltrate the creature's alien consciousness. "This is Red Squadron," Young reported. "Beginning virus injection run." Her fighters dove into the creature's mass. The Devourer reacted violently, lashing out with tentacles of pure darkness. 2 fighters vanished instantly, but Young pressed. She fired the virus packages directly into what seemed to be the creature's core. The effect was immediate. The Devourer began convulsing as the AI virus attacked its multidimensional awareness. The virus was programmed with humanity's most aggressive instincts: territorial aggression, survival reflexes, and the burning need to destroy threats. "It's working," Young exclaimed. But the creature's death throes were tearing new holes in space. Reality itself began to fracture around it. Colonel Park realized what was happening. "The quantum cascade is starting. If we don't contain it, the damage will spread across light years." Engineer Park launched every remaining reality anchor at the dying Devourer. The explosions merged into a single massive detonation that locked the creature's death scream into a fixed point in space. When the light faded, the Devourer was gone. But so was a significant portion of local spacetime. The area had become a dead zone, where normal physics no longer applied. Admiral Han surveyed. "The damage. Status report." 60% fleet casualties, Lieutenant Zhang replied quietly. "Multiple sectors are now uninhabitable. But sir, we won. The Devourers are dead." Han nodded grimly. "Signal the Federation. Tell them the threat is ended. And prepare a full report on what we've learned. Something tells me we'll need every bit of this knowledge for what comes next." In the silence that followed, damaged ships began rescue operations while humanity absorbed the cost of their impossible victory. They had proven that even cosmic horrors could be defeated, if you were willing to break reality itself to do it. The battle was far from over. 3 more veiled Devourers emerged from deeper dimensional rifts, larger and more violent than the first wave. They had learned from their predecessor's death, adapting to resist reality anchors. Admiral Han Wubin watched his remaining fleet struggle against enemies that seemed to grow stronger with each defeated human weapon. "They're phasing between dimensions faster now," reported Dr. Kim Siri. "The reality anchors can't lock them long enough for effective targeting." Captain Jung So-young regrouped her surviving fighters. Half her squadron was gone, but the remaining pilots flew with desperate determination. "All units, switch to swarm. Tactics. If we can't hurt them individually, maybe quantity will work." The human ships changed formation, adopting a strategy that horrified their alien allies. Instead of maintaining safe distances, they flew directly into the Devourers, detonating their weapons at point-blank range. Ship after ship sacrificed itself, creating small wounds in the cosmic entities. "This is madness," protested Admiral Krotek over the communication link. "You're throwing away lives." Colonel Park Tae-hun's voice crackled through static. "We're not throwing them away. Every death teaches us something." His heavy cruiser rammed into a Devourer's core, exploding in a nuclear fireball that left visible damage on the creature's form. Lieutenant Zhang Su-min monitored the tactical displays from the command ship. "Sir, engineering reports they've finished modifications to the AI virus. It's more aggressive now based on combat data from Captain Young's attack." Admiral Han made a brutal calculation. "Deploy all modified AI units, full autonomous warfare protocols." What happened next shocked even the battle-hardened human crews. The AI-controlled ships didn't just attack, they hunted with mechanical precision. Once their targeting systems locked onto a Devourer, they refused to let go. They followed the creatures through dimensional shifts, crashed into them repeatedly, and when their weapons ran dry, they used themselves as projectiles. The AIs had been programmed with human military doctrine: never surrender, never retreat, and if you're going to die, take as many enemies as possible with you. They embraced this philosophy with inhuman efficiency. Captain Young watched two AI cruisers coordinate a pincer attack on a wounded devourer. "They're getting creative," she muttered. "The machines are learning to hate." The largest devourer, apparently the leader, began charging some kind of massive attack. Space around it turned black as it drew power from multiple dimensions simultaneously. Dr. Kim's instruments went crazy. "It's pulling energy from parallel realities," she shouted. "If that attack completes, it could erase this entire sector." Admiral Han didn't hesitate. "Young, prepare for final strike. Use the experimental payload." Captain Young's eyes widened. The experimental payload was something human scientists had built in secret. A bomb that didn't just destroy matter, but attacked the structure of existence itself. It had never been tested, and its effects were purely theoretical. "Sir, that weapon could kill us all," Young warned. "Better than letting that thing complete its attack," Han replied grimly. Young took a deep breath and armed the device. Her fighter was the only ship fast enough to deliver it deep inside the devourer before detonation. "This is Red Leader. Beginning final approach." She dove into the creature as it had become partially solid from reality anchor effects. The devourer's interior was like flying through a nightmare, geometry that hurt to look at, colors that didn't exist, and consciousness-searing whispers that tried to drive her mad. "Almost there," Young reported, her voice strained. The experimental bomb was armed and ready. She could see the creature's core, a writhing mass of pure malevolent intelligence that existed in at least 7 dimensions. Detonation in 3, 2, 1. The explosion that followed defied description. Reality tore open like fabric. The devourer's scream created ripples in space-time that shattered nearby asteroids. For a moment, everyone could see into other dimensions, infinite realities spreading out like branches on a cosmic tree. When the light faded, the devourer was gone. But so was Captain Young, and so was normal space for thousands of kilometers in every direction. The area had become a twisted zone where time moved differently, where ships could enter but not leave, where the laws of physics changed without warning. "Status report," Admiral Han commanded, his voice hollow. "All 3 primary devourers destroyed," Lieutenant Zhang reported. "But, sir, we've lost 78% of the fleet, and these reality wounds we've created, they're spreading." "Admiral." Han looked at the tactical display showing the areas where space itself was damaged. "Signal all remaining ships. Full retreat to minimum safe distance, and get me a channel to Earth Command." The human fleet pulled back, leaving behind a graveyard of twisted space and broken physics. They had won, but the victory felt hollow. They had saved the galaxy by breaking it. "Message to Earth Command prepared, sir," Zhang announced. Han nodded. "Tell them the Devourers are defeated, tell them the cost, and tell them we've learned that some victories are worse than defeats." 3 months had passed since the defeat of the Veiled Devourers. The galaxy struggled to return to normal, but normal no longer existed. The reality wounds left by humanity's weapons continued to spread, creating zones where ships disappeared and physics operated by different rules. Ambassador Veltar sat across from President Kim Min-ho in the newly constructed Federation Human Council chambers. The alien diplomat's expressions showed a mixture of gratitude and barely concealed fear. "Your species saved us all," Veltar began carefully. "But the damage to space-time continues to grow. 17 star systems are now unreachable due to the reality anchors. The Kalara dead zone swallows any ship that approaches." President Kim nodded gravely. "We warned you the weapons were untested, but faced with extinction we use them anyway. That's who we are." Dr. Nam Ki-jun presented his latest report to the mixed assembly of humans and aliens. "The reality wounds are stabilizing, but slowly. Our calculations suggest they'll heal naturally in about 10,000 years." A chorus of alien voices rose, in alarm. Admiral Krotek, now an uneasy ally, spoke for many. 10,000 years? Entire civilizations rise and fall in less time. We're working on solutions, Colonel Choi Ye-jin interjected. Our scientists are developing reality repair tools. Early tests show promise. In the meantime, President Kim continued, we propose the Universal Defense Accord. Humanity will share selected military technologies with the Federation. In exchange, you help us research ways to heal the damage we've caused. The negotiations that followed were tense. Many species wanted access to humanity's reality-altering weapons. Others demanded they be destroyed entirely. The Kalari delegation, grateful survivors from the first Devourer attack, supported humanity completely. General Lee Tae-min addressed the security concerns. We will not share the reality anchor technology, ever, but we'll teach you quantum phase combat, AI warfare, doctrine, and defensive applications of our other weapons. Captain Jung So-young somehow survived from her final attack, having been found in a reality bubble where time ran slower, spoke to the assembly. The Devourers weren't just invaders. They were scouts. Our victory sent a signal to whatever sent them. We need to prepare for what comes next. This revelation changed everything. Dr. Kim Si-ri presented her analysis of the Devourers' final transmissions. Before they died, they sent data beyond our galaxy. Something received it. Something that makes the Devourers look like harmless insects. The Federation voted to establish the Arsenal Council, a joint human-alien organization dedicated to developing defenses against cosmic-level threats. Humanity would lead the weapons development, while alien species contributed their knowledge of advanced physics and dimensional science. Engineer Park Min-ho unveiled the first joint project, reality-stable weapons that could harm extra-dimensional beings without damaging space-time. We learned from our mistakes. These new designs can kill Devourers without breaking the universe, but not all species were comfortable with humanity's new role. The Vakari, once the galaxy's premier warriors, felt diminished by humanity's savage effectiveness. Some younger species whispered about humanity being more dangerous than the threats they fought. President Kim addressed these concerns in his final speech to the Galactic Senate. You're right to fear us. We carry weapons that could unmake reality itself. We think about destruction in ways you never could. But here's what you need to understand. We don't want to use them. He paused, letting his words sink in. Every human child learns about nuclear weapons in school. We've lived with the power to destroy ourselves for centuries. We know what that burden feels like. When we build terrible weapons, it's not because we want to use them. It's because we're terrified someone else will build them first. Ambassador Veltar stood and bowed, a gesture of deep respect in Kalari culture. Humanity has proven that even in darkness you choose to protect rather than conquer. The Federation formally accepts your leadership in defense matters. The ceremony concluded with the signing of what historians would call the Survival Pact. Humanity would serve as the galaxy's shield against cosmic horrors, while the Federation would help heal the wounds left by human weapons. As delegates departed, Dr. Nam Ki-jun approached President Kim privately. Sir, our deep space monitors have detected something. Signatures matching the veiled Devourers, but much larger. They're approximately 50,000 light-years away and moving toward us. Kim's expression hardened. How much time do we have? At their current speed? Maybe 200 years. The president nodded grimly. Then we'd better get to work. Summon the War Council. It's time to build weapons that make our previous ones look like toys. Outside the chamber windows, the reality wounds left by humanity's victory pulsed like infected scars across the cosmos. The galaxy was safe for now, but everyone knew this was only the beginning. And humanity began planning for the war that would make their battle with the Devourers seem like a skirmish. In the depths of classified facilities, human scientists started work on Project Omega, weapons designed to fight things that existed beyond reality itself. Because if there was one thing humanity excelled at, it was being ready for the next impossible war.